Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our monthly Angelscope for the sign of Sagittarius for the month of March 2023. So, as we get started, and just like to begin by welcoming everyone back to this monthly series, and to also welcome anyone who's new to our Angelic Wisdom community. Just a few things. First, I'd like to ask you to remember to subscribe to this channel and to select the all notification bell. Keep checking in to make sure it remains selected. If you are having to search or find me or search for me, then it probably isn't, because you should get a notification in your on your phone or wherever device that you have notifications set up, if that's actually happening. So just make sure, if you're probably really faithful in checking in, it probably just automatically shows up in the algorithms, brings it to you. But just keep a lookout for that. Also, dislike, and leave comments. The comments are really important because you, first of all, you have no idea the potential of the effect that your words, that in your insights and inspiration based on what you've experienced, might really clarify and just hit home for somebody. So I really believe that we're all spiritual teachers here in this community, and that you should trust your wisdom. And it's a oneness concept, right? Of sharing what you want others to have for what you want for yourself to, to share by giving others the opportunity to have the same as well. Also, if you're looking for an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, the angelschool.com/services, and you can select the first time promotional offer reading. It's going to be available to everyone. I'm extending it just one more month because it's my birthday month. It's St. Patrick's person. So I just wanted to say thank you in that way. And also, if you'd like to just contribute to my channel, you can use my PayPal me link, and any amount that you are able to offer will be greatly and deeply appreciated and goes back into the channel for resources that I use to help the channel. Also, the general angel reading for March has already been posted a couple of days ago. So please go check that out, because that information is so important to this reading. And I also recommended this oracle because I've been noticing recently, this is called the Lemurian Star Child Oracle. And I've been noticing just having the ascension energies are very intense. And so I've needed new tools, and I bought this last year, and all of a sudden I was guided to it, and it was like, oh, this is how I need what I need this deck for. It's in my practice, it's representing my sort of meditation healing tools. So I've been just pulling a card each morning to kind of help me just sort of realign. And so I'm recommending that to you. I'm probably going to do a review, and all the information about where to get that deck will be in the description area below, as well as everything else I've mentioned. So finally, the format of the reading. So the card in the center will represent the archangel that you'll be working with in this month, and the cards on the left and the right are from the Major Arcana and Minor Arcana. So the Major Arcana is sort of like the behind the scenes energy. This is what's not readily in our sort of consciously in our awareness. It's not consciously. It's just sort of something that we can pinpoint. However, it does represent the major themes, energies, influences, lessons, challenges that are shaping the experiences that you might be seeing in the day-to-day awareness, which is what is consciously, something you can discern, or that's something that's discernible within your day. day-to-day awareness. So this card will help maybe show how that's sort of coming through and how it's playing out, and then maybe give you some advice about how to work with it. So let's take a deep breath together. And just allow yourself, and they're writing the word feelings. As I was about to say, just allow yourself. So just allow yourself to be in your feelings, and in a way that you feel safe. So they said to be in your feelings safely. And there's something about people and peaceful, or peacefulness and people. There's something about the writing this apology. All right, that's a lot of things to throw at me at once to remember where I started. But yeah, just sitting in your feelings right now, being a witness, and not trying to manage them, not trying to fix them, but just being a witness and just being in silence. And there is something to this, because we do have to be be aware of what we're feeling, but we can't also um, be reactive in that witnessing. So that just makes it triggering, right? And it just perpetuates what has already unfolded or what you believe is going on. It's so interesting. I don't know why they're bringing this example back to my mind, but this week when I started working with this deck, and it's what made such a powerful first re-encounter with it after months, after receiving the deck, there was an exercise within this deck. I cannot find it. I don't know. I know I had the experience, but it was weird because I had this experience. All of a sudden, I remembered a memory of running around a lake, like this lake in this paradise setting, and just running around it for like so many laps. I don't know why. Um, and I don't know what in the book inspired me to do it, like which card or which exercise. But for the first 5 or 10 minutes, I was convinced that this really happened. And I was sitting there going, I don't know when I did this. I don't know, remember going to this place or going. And I was trying to think, did I go with my best friend, or did we do this together? Did we go to, because it's like it was running around a lake. And I'm like, so we must have done this. And who did I do this with? I mean, I spent all this time trying to figure out, when did this happen? And then all of a sudden, when I had something that triggered the memory of this oracle, that I remembered it was an exercise that I did. I don't know why. And it could have been something I created from one of the cards, and I don't know why again. But the thing that startled me was so profound was that, goodness gracious, I imagined that in such detail and did it for such a long time, running the laps, made it repetitive enough that I actually believe that I did it. After having forgotten it, I believe that I did it, and I believe that it was a part of my memory. I have never had a freaky experience like that in my entire life. And I remembered the first time that I learned mind to mind healing with a teacher. And she had us to do this exercise where we moved our feet back and forth, etc., and one leg. And then, said, how did you feel? And it was, fatigued from the exercise. And she told us to do it in our mind. And my body felt in the other leg that did not move physically, but moved mentally, it felt the same pain and fatigue of the muscles from working out. So mentally. And so all of this came back to me, like just came back, rushing back to me. And in this moment, you know, if we cannot be detached as a witness to our emotions that have already happened and been triggered and set off, and now is this baggage we carry around with us. If we continue to actively be reactive to this this event, these memories from the past, you just really literally just enforce the beliefs, the reality for yourself. And so what you end up doing is making yourself even sort of opening up the wound again. And so it's interesting that that's why most of us just tend to escape and do things to numb out and not think about it. We get busier, and this isn't the healing either. It doesn't lead to the healing process because it's there the whole time. You're trying to ignore it, so therefore you are keeping it active because you have because. You are doing this because of that. And you're not doing that thing that you're doing because of coming from a place of alignment and harmony, and something that truly is nurturing your soul. You're doing it to escape something. And so whether the two are the same, but the causes are different, that makes the difference in how you experience that same thing, as experience of joy or experience of heartache or whatever. So there is something here about, they really want you to be in your feelings in this month, and to not allow yourself, but to do it with be totally neutral, which is to be totally compassionate, be vulnerable, be authentic. Let your true self rise to the surface, not just the self that you've identified with when you relate to that situation. If you identify with pain and harm, when you relive or recollect that situation, then you're stuck there. Okay, so this is going a little bit longer, but I just want to tune back in into anything else that they were sharing about this. I'm just going to go to the card and look at the Archangel message. I already forgot the other things I said right after the first thing I mentioned. So we have Archangel Butail. And Archangel Butail it says, be interdependent, expand your horizons. So Archangel Butail, sort of in the similar way that the cherubim, who are 11th dimensional angels, they sort of oversee the frequency of the planets and keeping each planet. So there's a cherubim watching over every planet and keeping that planet's frequency, which emits sort of like a tone, right? And each one of us and every flower, plant, tree, animal emits its own tone. I just actually found out from the angels this week that mine was this high C sharp, not because of my frequency or vibration, it's just what my tone is. Each one of us is a note within the universal symphony. And so the cherubim maintain that. Archangel Butail maintains the order within the interdependent relationships between all the stars and planets. So that is why, I guess the best way to say this is like astrology. That's why astrology, or at least it's coming to me in this moment, the premise of astrology is the same, in that we're looking at how these planetary bodies are influence us and each other, and influence dynamics in our lives. So there is an interdependence with these celestial bodies. And they kept showing me the word Stargate, like before I even started the reading, and while I was preparing and meditating, they kept showing it to me, and I was shuffling the cards, it showed it to me. A Stargate is, from what I've been told recently, and some other people might have different ideas about this, but I've been told that a Stargate is a sort of a door to another dimension, or another part of the solar system. But the portal is when that stargate is open, and so that you then are permitted to go through it and access whatever divine information is there. So I'm not quite sure yet what they want to talk about with the Stargate, but it might come up a little bit more into the reading. But the phrase expand your horizons. So definitely, Sagittarius, a Stargate is opening up for you, which is going to allow you to sort of, when you step through these stargates, or even a gateway, which I'm not quite sure, I was thinking about that before. Um, a gateway may not, it could be the same term. I'm not going to try to feed into that right now because it's not important. But when a stargate opens, it means that there's a huge shift for you. Just sort of how it says it here, expand your horizons. This stargate opens and it allows you to see a whole nother reality, a world of, they're writing, yes, of possibilities. It's actually something you can step into, this expansion, and move into a whole new level of experiences. So it's going to be very important, in order to do that, that you really, sort of tune in to what your feelings are, because it's time and you're ready, Sagittarius, to take the lessons from this. It's, but I get a sense of, it's almost like you keep replaying it because you keep reacting, resisting. You just keep replaying it, but it's phantom. You're done with the lesson. It's a phantom experience. So many people are having phantom experiences because they've already learned the lessons. The karma has already been cleared, but the ego can still project these phantom realities. Can project that this phantom classroom that you already passed out of. And the only way to truly end it, because it's all about in your mind, that you have to be present with it. It's like a life review where you are no longer attached to the outcome. You're not going to respond to the information with blame on yourself or somebody else. That keeps you stuck in it. And so they want you to prepare for this so that you can prepare for that new horizon of experiences. So the Stargate will open, the portal will be open to you once you no longer keep, perpetuating that phantom reality. So whatever is going on in your life right now that just seems like it's just it keeps coming up, and you can't get past it, but you feel like it's time for a change and you're ready for it, this would be the reason. All right, so let's take a look at the Major Arcana energy. And this is the Hierophant. So it says wise counselor. I think about this card as representing institutions of belief, of governing, of education, etc. The training schools, and it could also represent the spiritual training schools that we can go to while we're in our sleep. And the weird thoughts that are going through my mind right now is that you have been doing that in your sleep, going to these inner training schools in the inner planes of the universe, in various locations of the universe, and that your training has prepared you for this Stargate opening in your physical experiences, where this new expansion of experiences would come into place. But however, somehow you are still somewhat entrenched in these institutions of our society, and they are opposing this new awareness that you're having on a spiritual level. Some of it's filtering in to your daily language, and some of it is not. And so it's these blocks, it's these old emotional, like this emotional baggage that's keeping you from really fully embracing and leaving this phantom world reality behind and stepping into the glory of what you've earned. Okay? And so be aware of being, when you're triggered, you get into these things like, say, if it's a political argument or you're defending some position, especially if it's like, this is just a silly example, but it could be like, oh, my city's better than this, or my alma mater, my education, something silly, but you get triggered by it. Like if somebody were to bring it up, you're like, how, you go right into this whole conversation, where you just at the end of you're like, gosh, why did I waste my energy? You feel exhausted, you feel bad, things are said that shouldn't be said. This is one example, but just be aware of being triggered by, and defending things in the past in general, just say it that way. And the thing is because this concept of interdependence, um, we are truly need to develop. I forget the phrase that the angels gave to me months ago that you heard me say in some of the videos. I think it was, our independence is dependent upon our interdependence. I think that's what I said. Or is it our interdependence? Yes, I think it was that. So it's this oneness concept, right? Our interdependence is dependent upon our. No, that's not it. I think it's the other way around. I'm so sorry today. But our independence is interdependent. I think our independence is dependent upon our interdependence. Yeah. So, we need each other is basically what it's saying. And so also, each, and here's a piece of it. When you're not being true to yourself, your note, your note that is a part of this symphony becomes a dissonance. And it throws off the harmony at a great range around it. So then we'll have not just one part of the symphony, just you, but we'll have the surrounding notes around it off, and creating dysfunction, misunderstanding, distortion, disease, etc. And so I work with Archangel Butail to, with this idea of helping each other, supporting each other, and keeping up your area of your section of the universal orchestra in tune or in harmony with one another for the greater good. So be wise about the things that you do and get yourself involved in, and the conversations that you have, and so here, you have the Page of Earth, okay? And so this might mean that, now it's interesting with these two cards, it's almost like doing more research and studies. Maybe you might want to, just really read more in terms of like spirituality concepts. Notice some of the things that the angels might be bringing to you to help sort of alleviate that gap in your spiritual principles that are emerging, and your sort of rooted beliefs that you share in society that are contradicting one another. And you might come across be guided to some resources, some authors, and spiritual teachers that might help you to close that gap and that find find your truth, find your purpose, and help you to get sort of back on or stay on track, so to speak. Sorry, I'm having such a hard time getting the words out here, but I think this is clear enough. So, and with the page, you're learning. You're going to make mistakes. So they're not asking you to beat up on yourself or to make sure you don't ever make these mistakes, but just keep an open mind, I would think would be the message of the page. Keep an open mind about everything that you're learning and everything you've known and the integration and of all of that and the things that you're letting go of and the changes and transformations that are happening. Just be compassionate while this all unfolds. Okay. So Sagittarius, this seems right up your alley in terms of self-discovery and spiritual alignment. And so it definitely is a month for you of spiritual alignment. Okay. So this reading has been longer than the others, but I think it is necessary. You can just get a sense that this archangel sort of brings in a very complex spiritual spiritual message and understanding. But you are more than up to the task. So I wish you lots of love, angel blessings, and have a beautiful month of March. God bless you.